Let me give you the next one. A lack of judgment destroys the product of the labor of the poor. This is an interesting verse. Open your Bible to Proverbs 13, verse 23. Proverbs 13, verse 23. This verse requires a little noodling. You got to work it a little bit. Pull some other verses together and kind of help you kind of get to the heart of what's being said here. And this is one of those verses, like a diamond, has many facets. You can turn it this way, that, and get some different insights, depending on what angle you set the stone in the light, or to the light. But I'm going to offer you one thought here. A lack of judgment destroys the product of the labor of the poor. Look, Proverbs 13:23, much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that is destroyed for want of judgment. And the challenge here is to get to what is it that is destroyed? There is that is destroyed. Is it the poor that is destroyed for want of judgment? Or is it the product of their labor that is destroyed for want of judgment? And both of those takes on the verse have some legitimacy and offer some insights. But I'm going to bring this one to your attention. There's a lot of food in the tillage of the poor. But if that poor individual lacks judgment, their labor is for naught. You see that? That's in this verse too. If you don't handle what you produce properly, then you will waste what you produce. You'll lose what you produce if you lack judgment. Also, you might have a skill and you might sell your labor for some good, but you don't have good judgment in choosing who you work for or where you apply your labor. But there are probably some in here right now, you're working at a job, you ought not to be working at it. Because the people you're working for are not paying you what you're really worth. You could get twice what you're making. Possibly. I've got some guys in here who employ others who look at me like, what are you doing, preacher? Well, you know what? Also, maybe not. So be careful. But there's a lack of judgment sometimes. You don't think about it. You're not exercising good judgment. You're not making good decisions. Some of you are stuck in an employment situation that really isn't suited to you and really isn't productive for you. But you're just stuck there because you don't have good judgment. You can't step back from the situation and look it over and see what maybe somebody else could see for you. So perhaps counsel's something you should consider as a possibility. On the other hand, somebody might counsel you and go, oh, you better stay where you are, buddy. Don't lose that. Don't quit your day job, that kind of thing. I mean, you might get that counsel too, and it might be worth listening to. But my point here is sometimes it's a lack of judgment. You're not lazy. You work hard. But you just haven't exercised good judgment in where you invest that work, where you put that labor.